Hey, what's up, everybody? Back out here for part two of the Ram front end assembly. I started on the front end, or not the front end, the upper arms already. I got them torn apart pretty good. I'll show you what. All right, so here's what I got so far. Got those all cleaned out. Pretty good. No complaints. All I did was use this wire wheel thing that I bought from Harbor Freight for like $5. Yet again, Harbor Freight coming in clutch with the cheap tools for, that do the job. But here's what I got. I got this little tool to cut the rubber off of the sleeves, the inner sleeves for the bolts. The inner sleeves for bolts. And then these ones are for doing the inner part. And yeah, that's more or less it. To cut these off, like you could take most of this rubber off with just the wire wheel, but I like to get as much rubber off of the sleeve as possible. So I'll just use this nice little knife that my dad has out here, which is working fantastic. And I'll just cut most of this off. Like, it's a lot easier to do this with, not holding the camera. Or my phone, I should say. But, yeah, just cut this off. As much as I can, anyways. I try not to scrape the knife on there, so I don't dull the knife. I'm just trying to get the rubber off. So that's pretty good. So I got most of the bulk of the rubber off. Now let's let my little safety glasses on here. It's way easier to do with two hands, by the way. And there you go. That's how easy the rubber comes off. As long as you get like the bigger chunks off, like I said before, and then you're not, chewing up your wire wheel just to get those off. And then you just keep rotating it until you have all that off. And it's literally that easy. So I'll finish these last two because I got the other two cleaned already. Finish the last two, and then I'll get the other arm in there, and then I'll kind of show you what I do with the arm too. It's kind of self-explanatory. I again use that knife. I cut most of the bushing off that I can. I clean up the top with the smaller one, and then this really small one I can fit inside of there. So then I just put that in there and then just keep running it back and forth and all that, and that cleans it up real nice. So I'll get these cleaned, and then I can hop into assembly. All right, so I got the big chunk of rubber pushed out, the rubber bushing, and then I went through and I already cut the top off. So now I'm going to go through and clean this up a little bit more, a little bit better, so that the wire wheels don't grab on the big chunks of plastic, or not plastic, rubber, so they don't grab on the big chunks of rubber and then bite in real bad. So that looks pretty good. I mean, as good as it's gonna get. So now I just take my wire wheel. I'll switch over to my bigger one. So then I'm just gonna clean the outside, and then I'll just make a quick run on the inner lip, and then I'll switch back over to the smaller one, and then I'll just plunge in there and clean that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So now you see how clean that is. And yeah, it was better that way. So yeah, so that's how easy those are to get out. So now we'll assemble this one. I'll show you how I assembled that one because I already put this one together. Actually, I'm putting this side together as I'm going, so that's how she looks so far. It's all going pretty well. I mean, I just had to clean it off because it's super dusty, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm really liking the contrast between the spring and the black, so that looks pretty good. I mean, I'll see what it looks like once I put it all together, but we'll get that control arm assembled, and then I can move on to assembling the rest of it. So let's do that. All right, so these are literally the same as like the lower control arms. You're literally just gonna put the bushing in. I already pre-lubed these, and then you're just gonna whap it in. No, nice and flush. Then we'll do the other one. Those are good. I also pre-lubed these. So those are all good to go. These ones slide in nice and easy. I don't know if it's just because those are aftermarket arms as well, but that's pretty much it as far as installing energy suspension bushings into stock 3rd gen upper control arms. And I'm pretty sure Dodge uses these for like everything from that era. These are just aluminum upper arms, because I'm pretty sure these are the exact same ones that are in my wife's Aspen, and that's an all-wheel drive thing. Pretty much a Ram truck, just all-wheel drive and an SUV. But let's get these slammed on the truck, and then we'll continue with assembly, because our parts pile is getting pretty small, so should be on all fours here pretty quick. Alright, so it might be a little hard to see, but I do this kind of just like everybody else. There's kind of like 2 ways of doing this. You can either have the control arm attached to the spindle and then jack it up and put it in there. But for me, it all depends on the situation. I don't have a preference of which way I do it. It's just this time it works better to do it this way. So I got the spring in there. So I shoehorn a spring in there. Don't forget your little rubber isolator for up there. That's also energy suspension. So I got that in there, and then all I do is I put a little bit of pressure on there, get my upper arm in there, and now I'm going to jack this up and then put the ball joint in there, and then put my nut on, tighten my nut up as much as I can by hand, and then I can release the tension off of it, because I got all my bolts started, you know, more than enough threads in there to where it's going to hold it together, and I don't have to worry about it. And then I can go back and tighten everything up and all that kind of stuff, because I still have to do the rack bushings as well. So I'll slam this on, and then we'll get to the rack bushings, and then we're getting pretty close to the nitty gritty, and all I have to do yet is hub bearings, calipers, rotors, and then brake lines. So we'll get that going. So now I got my nut on there, and I'm not really worried about it coming out or falling off or anything like that. So just make sure all my stuff's as hand tight as it possibly can be, which all of it is. So now I can release it and it should be good to go. So then once I can get some real weight on it, then I'll go back over and then, you know, torque everything down and whatnot. So let's move on to the rack. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it a day on this video. I'd like to put the rack bushings in this video, but it's getting a little long already because, you know, I'm a little long-winded and I like to talk. But yeah, we'll call it a day for this video. In my next video, I'll probably be, well, it won't probably, but it'll be the rack bushings and some other stuff, and we'll just keep hammering away at installation. So, I mean, the front end on these trucks is so darn easy. I think just trucks in general are so easy, but yeah, we'll get it hammered together and back on all four wheels, and then get alignment. I have to get my wheels rebalanced because while they were sitting around, the weights fell off because the people that had balanced the wheels didn't really use good weights. I mean, they seem like fine weights, but the sticky just didn't attach to the wheel for whatever reason. So I'll probably go back there and let them know, hey, your weights fell off. So, but that'll be good for this video, and I'll see you guys next time, and peace out.